All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going under the hood to explore the architecture that makes Salesforce one of the most powerful platforms out there. We're going to look at what makes it so fast, so flexible, and so easy to customize. Let's get to it.
So you've probably wondered, right? How does Salesforce let you build and customize these amazing applications so quickly, a lot of the time without even touching a single line of code? Well, it's not magic, but it is a really clever and powerful architecture, and we're about to break down exactly how it all works.
The secret to all this power is its layered architecture. Honestly, the best way to picture it is like a layer cake. Each part is different, but they all stack up and work together to create something amazing. This structure, this cake, is the key to everything.
To really get it, we're going to slice through that cake layer by layer. We'll kick things off with the cloud foundation, then we'll dig into the data engine and what makes it so special. After that, we'll see how APIs act as the glue connecting everything, and then we'll put it all together to see the whole architecture in action.
Okay, let's start at the very bottom, right? The foundation of the entire platform. Before you can build anything cool, you need a solid base. And for Salesforce, that base is built on two huge principles: trust and sharing. For Salesforce, trust is literally everything. It's their #1 value. Think about it. Companies are running their entire businesses on this platform. So keeping all their data and apps safe isn't just a nice feature, it's the most fundamental promise they make.
And this isn't just something they say, they really prove it. They're super transparent. You can go to trust.salesforce.com anytime, like right now, and see real-time system performance and maintenance info. And now with AI being so big, they've built the Einstein Trust Layer, which adds these critical security guardrails to make sure you can use generative AI without ever compromising your data's privacy. Okay, so that's trust. The second piece of this foundation is a concept called multi-tenancy. Now I know, that sounds super technical, but stick with me, the idea is actually really simple. Just imagine Salesforce isn't a bunch of private houses for each customer. It's more like one giant state-of-the-art apartment building.
And this visual here just nails it, right? In this building, every company gets its own private, super secure apartment. That's your dedicated space. But everyone shares the building's main infrastructure. The power, the water, the security at the front door. Sharing all those resources is what makes the whole system so incredibly efficient. And the perks for you as a tenant are massive. It means that everyone, from a tiny startup to a huge global corporation, gets access to the exact same powerful computing resources. It also means you get all the latest features automatically, with seamless upgrades 3 times a year. You never ever have to worry about managing servers or installing software updates. It's all just handled for you.
Okay, so we've got our trusted, shared foundation locked in. Now let's move up to the next layer and see how the platform actually organizes and manages all your information. This is where we get into the real magic of data and metadata. Right at the heart of it all is something called Data 360. You can think of it as the super-powered database, a kind of data lakehouse that can handle just massive amounts of information, structured, unstructured, you name it, and brings it all together so it can be used across the entire platform. Now, to really, truly grasp what makes Salesforce so incredibly flexible, we have to talk about one of the most important concepts in its whole architecture, and that's the difference between your data and your metadata. Let's start with a really simple example. Think about a record for a property you're selling. The data is the specific information you actually type into the fields. So, for instance, the price is $500,000. That specific value, that's your data. So here's a little thought experiment. What happens if we take that specific data away? If we just delete the $500,000 from the price field, what are we left with?
You're left with the structure itself, the empty fields, the page layout, the object. That's the metadata. It's often called data about data, which is a perfect way to put it, because it defines the shape and the rules for your actual data. It's the container, not the contents.
And this right here, this is the absolute secret sauce. Because the entire platform is built on this metadata framework, making changes is ridiculously fast. When you add a new field or change a page layout, you're just modifying the metadata. You're tweaking the blueprint, not rewriting a bunch of complex code. And that is the key to all that speed and agility. So we have the foundation, and we have the metadata-driven structure. But how do all these different pieces and even external systems talk to each other? Well, let's move to the next layer and look at the universal translators, APIs. API stands for Application Programming Interface, which sounds way more complicated than it really is. I absolutely love this analogy. Just think of an API as a USB port, but for software, right? You don't need to know how the port works on the inside. You just know that when you plug something in, it connects and transfers information. APIs do the exact same thing for applications. And here's what's so powerful about Salesforce. Every single piece of your data and metadata, every custom field, every object you create, automatically gets a unique API name. This means everything on the platform is inherently built to be connected from the second it's created.
Let's look at a super practical example. In this email template, see that little bit of text in the curly braces? That's an API call. So when the email is sent, the system uses that API name to find the right metadata, go to the database, retrieve the actual contact's name, in this case, Lowell Salzberg, and plug it right into the email. Just like that. That's the API in action.
Okay, we've looked at the individual layers, the trusted, multi-tenant cloud, the metadata framework, and the API connections. Now, let's pull the camera back a bit and see how they all work together in one big integrated system.
And we're back to our layer cake. It all starts with that trusted shared cloud at the bottom. Built on top of that is the metadata framework and the Data 360 engine. Connecting all of it is the API layer. And then all of the applications from Sales and Service Cloud to the custom apps you built yourself, they all sit right on top, benefiting from this powerful, unified structure.
So to sum it all up, the power of Salesforce really comes from a few key ideas. First, a secure and shared foundation in the trusted multi-tenant cloud. Second, a metadata-driven platform with a powerful data engine that allows for incredibly fast customization. And finally, an API-first design where everything is built to be connected. You see, understanding this architecture isn't just some technical exercise. It really reveals why the platform is so adaptable. It's a blueprint for innovation. So the real question is, now that you understand how it works, what are you going to build?